What's going on, everybody? And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I had a good weekend with my mom. I got my sister and my niece and, family in town. And I just had a great weekend. I went shopping with my mom. And I just came from her house today on Mother's Day. They took my mom to a brunch. And we just had a good time. Just a good time chilling with family.
Happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you, Lily.
Okay.
So my mom gave birth to 5 children, plus an additional 3 from my father, and she has 18 grandkids. Get it, Noah. Get it, Noah. I like
I can open the door all the way.
when you turn me on. I like. Okay, so between me and my cousin who collect uncommon and rare plants, when we don't want plants anymore, we bring them here to my mom's house. So my mother had a lot of plants. We had to get rid of some of them. So what you're seeing here is the aftermath of getting rid of a lot of the plants and just kind of organizing this particular area for her. So right here is a Philodendron micans sitting in this kind of unusual pot. And then right here is the domino peace lily. Has a couple of half moon leaves on it. It's pretty cool. So over here I didn't finish organizing this, but it's a couple plants in her dining area space. And a ZZ plant there. She had this huge monstera. I had to get rid of it though. Right here, this Philodendron Brazil is doing well sitting here on our coffee table. The leaves are small and compact, and I kind of like the way that looks. Now going out to the balcony, it's just an assortment of succulents. But the cool thing about chilling on her balcony is you get to see a good view of Los Angeles.
Can you pull this thing while I just mash this bottle down?
What is y'all doing?
I'm trying to get the
Come on,
milk.
bro.
It probably expired 2 months
pull
ago.
this-
It's the Rose of Sharon. Smell it. It's the Rose of Sharon. No, that ain't the Rose.
Who is
of Sharon.
Sharon?
This is the Rose of Sharon. It don't smell like roses. Huh? Y'all want to be annoyed?
Y'all want to play charades with me?
Come here, I know both of y'all.
Huh?
Put your hands for.
Yeah, because I'll break out on my forehead.
But it's anointed oil, so you
Them
can't worry about
skulls.
stuff like that.
Them little skulls. Let me do the palms of your hands so you get money. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Don't the palms of your hand. Give me your.
Money in my head.
Yeah, I'm anointing my child. In the name of Jesus. Keep him covered with the blood.
Mhm.
Keep this one covered with the blood. Where the other one at? Come here. Yeah. I know.
Well, happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Yeah. Thank you. You did it.
My feet hurt. And I'm
Shoot, I
pretty
was
sure
tired as
it's
heck
tired.
yesterday.
So I'm back home resting, and I'm gonna go back out tonight to go hang out with my family. So I wanted to just do this video real quick. But in today's video, I want to talk about the Philodendron Lynamii. I would say it's probably the most rare plant that I have right now, and there's not a lot of videos when it comes to the care. So I want to talk about the care of the Philodendron Lynamii, and I just might do a little something crazy because guess what? I'm thinking about propagating my Lynamii. So here it is here, Philodendron Lynamii. I got this from Ecuagenera USA, and it arrived quickly, and it just arrived in really good condition because guess what? Philodendron Lynamii is a really easygoing plant. These leaves are thick. They're very hardy and thick, and they're pretty rigid. And as you can tell, the leaves are also huge. So I got the idea that I may want to propagate this plant, but before that, let me just talk about the care. So when it comes to Philodendron Lynamii, it's a crawler, as you can see. So it has a crawling type growth habit, and I give this a well-draining soil mix. It's regular potting soil with half perlite. Then I added a lot of cocoa coir, and then I just, around the stem, I put sphagnum moss. Just because as it crawls along, I want each node to kind of start rooting into the soil mix. So that's the reason why I just kind of stuff a little bit of sphagnum moss underneath the crawling stem. But when it comes to light, I definitely give this a little bit of direct sun because I want to keep the color vibrant. So this new leaf came out and it stayed red for a few days or so. And then it started to fade down to burgundy, and now it's kind of like giving me green. And the back of the leaf still has some color to it. And you can see the stem has some interesting little features going on as well. But this plant is so easy and so vigorous. I'm starting to notice that like you see that it already has this new growth point that has gotten really big within the past like 2 or 3 days. So I'm starting to think that this is one of those plants that it can handle a wide range of conditions. It definitely doesn't get like super high humidity or anything, and all the leaves are flawless, which tells me that it's easy to grow. So I highly recommend this plant. Like if it's about what 120 Ecuagenera USA, or on the regular Ecuagenera, I got it for 120, I would say. And I highly recommend this plant if you're trying to treat yourself, because this plant is easy and it is very impressive. Ships like a pro. It's like a good shipper, and it like soon as I sat it down in my house, I felt like it was just going to work. It was growing. So I highly recommend this plant, and being that it's very hardy and vigorous, I'm gonna try and propagate it because I want to multiply this plant already. I might be jumping the gun, but I think I'll be okay. So in this video, I'm gonna propagate this plant. So I've had this plant for about 2 or 3 weeks now. So before I decide that I'm gonna propagate it, let's assess the situation. So I'm gonna unpot it and see what the roots is looking like. So I don't know if you can see, right along this node here, you have these roots, and then the chunk down here has a massive root system. So I think if I cut right around here, there will be some roots coming out, and then the chunk of the plant will also have a lot of roots also. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and propagate. It might be a little premature in some people's opinion, but I'm ready to do it now. So my plan is to cut it, leaving 2 leaves here and either 1 or 2 leaves here. We'll see what happens. We'll see if this leaf right here gets sacrificed, but I'll start making the cut now. Okay, so looks like we did get a good little 2 and 2. So this is the root system for the mother plant. Hopefully something grows off of there. And this will be the top cut propagation. And I feel like it has enough root to go directly into soil, and hopefully we'll be all good. So I'll pot this up now. One thing that I do want to say, I do feel like Ecuagenera, some of their plants are a bit leggy. These are the leaves that are grown in Ecuagenera nursery care, and I feel like the stems are just a tad bit long. This is the leaf that grew in my care, and the stem is a lot shorter and the leaf is a lot bigger. Maybe it has something to do with this one being like a newer leaf, but I've noticed the same thing with a lot of other philodendrons that I've gotten from Ecuagenera. I feel like in my care, the leaves grow a little bit bigger and the stems are a little bit shorter, maybe because I give it a little bit more light. I don't know what they got going on in Florida, but Ecuagenera leaves normally have like long stems. Even when you take them out, when you unbox them, the stems are very long. So I think that's another reason why I feel like I want to repot it. And you know what? I'm gonna do something else. I'm gonna take this older Ecuagenera leaf off. Yeah, so this will actually be my propagation. This was a leaf grown in my care, and it has the new shoot, and it has a decent root on it. These I'll just leave like this. So top cut, I want to get like a cup and I cut some holes in there with the knife. I heated that up on the stove and put some holes in there. And I'm gonna use a lot of moss, perlite, and cocos coir. And first I wanna put some rooting hormone on this wound, and then I'm gonna pot it up in here. I use the clear cup because I want to see the roots. So let me get some of this rooting hormone. My hands is already wet, so it's gonna stick. So I have rooting hormone on where I placed that cut. And now I'm just gonna pot it up into this cup. Hopefully that works out. I'm gonna use a lot of sphagnum moss because I want this cup to stay humid, to develop like a good root system before I put it in what I normally put it in, you feel me? A little bit of cocoa chunks, more moss. And I feel like adding a little bit of perlite and cocoa chunk will actually help stabilize it in this cup. And then the sphagnum moss will help just keep it moist and humid inside of this container. And being that I'm not using a lot of it, I could kind of pack it down a bit so that I can stabilize the plant. Okay, I think we're good to go. So there it is. Top cut, potted up. and I'll be able to see the progress of the roots. So we'll leave that one there. I'm not worried about this. I'm not worried about this bottom cut right here, so I'm just gonna pot it up like how I had it, you know. So for my normal Aroid mix, I'll use like a regular potting soil from Home Depot. It's not based in peat moss. As you can see, it has like a lot of rice hull, compost, and maybe a little bit of peat, but it's not, you know, it's not peat based. So I use some of that. And then I try to use equal parts perlite as the soil, and then add some bark. And then maybe I'll throw in a handful of worm castings and some Osmocote slow release. And then I'll mix that up. And there you have it. That's my Aroid potting mix. Mind you, there is a little bit of leca in there. And that is the mother plant. Rooting hormone on the cut. So boom, now I have 2 Lynamii eyes. All right, so here we have it. The top cut, it's in sphagnum moss, perlite, cocos coir, and then the mother plant, it's in regular Aroid mix. And hey, listen, I've been around the block, so I know that both of these are gonna be just fine. I just want to do this video to let y'all know that this is a tough plant and it's a good choice. These leaves are very sturdy. The root system on the plant that I got was perfectly fine. And as you can see, when I made my cut, it already had roots on it. So I can't really attest to any type of import of this plant, but I know if you get it, you know, domestically within the US, for those of you who live in the US, it'll be perfectly fine. This plant grows right away. As soon as it doesn't really take time to acclimate to your house, from my experience. So that's kind of why I decided to make the executive decision to go ahead and cut it up. So Philodendron Lynamii, I got 2 of these motherfuckers in there. Yeah. So hopefully everybody had a good weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers, and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. Aroid District, I'm Dave. Stay blessed.